All right, legends, we are live. Let's analyze the situation because we dropped hard yesterday and part of the day today as well. I need to go through. This is one of those live streams that we are going to analyze what we mentioned yesterday, because what was mentioned yesterday on the bullish case scenario, we broke certain levels of support that need to hold and we crashed straight down several $1,000s on the price of Bitcoin. And we need to talk about that, right? We cannot just forget what we mentioned yesterday. We talked about a bullish case yesterday, and we need to go through that on this live stream. And now, what does it change for the price of Bitcoin? Because this has ended up in a very, very awful three-wave structure. It didn't end up with a five-wave. It didn't look impulsive in the end. We lost crucial level of support, and this was the invalidation point for the bullish case. If you lose this level, then we're probably going to take out this low, and maybe even this low right over here, which is not looking too great. Okay, so overall, the bulls needed to hold this range right over here based on a bullish case that we were talking about yesterday, right? Are we going to form a fourth wave here and then get the push up to form a fifth wave and then continue to the upside? This level was the last line in the sand that needed to hold the 50% Fibonacci. If we hit golden pocket, we are going down. Okay, so overall, we were speculating on this scenario. We got the Trump pump with the Bitcoin reserve and everything, and this is always something that you need to be skeptical nowadays. We've had a massive bull run on Bitcoin. We've hit over $100,000, right? We've been begging for $100,000 for years now, and we got it, and we're just more greedy and greedy. And now we see, you know, the US, first crypto country, right? The first crypto president. Yes, all good. And we get these very bullish announcements that they turn into a pump and dump. Now, eventually, that is something that you needs to worry you, right? You need to get worried once you see a massive pump on this kind of announcement and it retraces all the way down, right? Kind of a classic trap, right? There you go. However, we go with the charts, and we are going to give the chance here for the bulls to see if we can hold the 50% Fibonacci or the 382 Fibonacci to get that rally back to the highs, because overall we've had this momentum and we analyzed this latest wave, which was the Trump pump, right? You can never rely on these kind of news, right? It might be part of a correction, which it was, right? Which was turned out into three-wave structure. It turned out into an ABC. Screw you, Donald Trump. We ain't going to trust any of your announcements. They're probably part of a correction, and it's a big, massive trap, right? So that was the deal yesterday, right? So far, so good. We were getting supported from the 382, the next level of support to hold. And if you do hit the golden pocket, guys, for me, it's crystal clear. There's no longs going to be taken anywhere in this range, and you should be instantly out of any long idea if you do hit the golden pocket, because you're invalidating the bullish case scenario, and you're going to come and take out this low, maybe even this low over here, right? So regardless, even shorts are better, right? As you do lose the golden pocket, okay? So very important to understand, because people will get confused on, hey, your bullish case doesn't play out. You know, this is technical analysis. If we hold this level, we are looking for the price to get a bounce and move to higher levels. If we lose the level, we understand that a big dumpy dump is very, very likely, right? And that level was the golden pocket to not be touched, all right? That is your invalidation for the bullish case. If we hit this level, we are coming down. So eventually, you do not want to have any type of long positions as we lose the golden pocket. Despite any bounce, the bounce would be probably a good idea to short then if you do hit the golden pocket, right? So we need to talk about this, right? As we have the momentum to the upside, we need to understand the bullish case and what is the invalidation. And if you hit that invalidation, you're likely going to go to much lower levels. Now, understanding yesterday the short position, I mean, it was a little bit tricky to get into short, but here we did have massive bearish CVD divergence. I mean, we were pointing out that this was a take profit zone based on bearish CVD divergence. We can get this off the chart right now because it's no longer relevant, right? This scenario is no longer relevant, and we got a couple of scenarios and levels on the chart that will give us the idea of the highest probability movement, right? Whether a level holds or a level gets rejected, and what are the different projections and the most interesting levels for a trading setup, right? That's what it's all about, right? And understanding if you lose certain level, you know, that scenario that you're looking at is immediately invalidated, okay? So it's very, very important to understand this, guys, because a lot of people will eventually just really rely on one scenario, okay? And obviously we have multiple scenarios and levels of invalidation, and we need to understand that, guys, okay? If this scenario hits this level and it invalidates this scenario, then we're looking at the other scenario, right, to play out. So overall, at the end of the game, this has been a three-wave structure, and this changes the game completely now. It completely changes the game. And, you know, are we looking more bearish? Now, we do have several scenarios that actually tell us that, yes, maybe this was not the low. So far, when we got this pumpy action, this potentially being a third wave, we needed one more wave up to really confirm that this could have been the low with extreme high probability if we form a clear 5-wave impulsive move to the upside. That was not the case. Bitcoin failed to do so. We got Mr. President, right, giving that massive FOMO pump, and then the corrective move that did look like it could be a corrective move and eventually collapsing down. I mean, this is a classic moment where a lot of retail are going to FOMO in. They're not going to manage risk. They'll be longing here at the top, right, or whatever, right, and not looking at proper technical analysis and levels that need to hold, and they will get wrecked eventually, right? This was really a kind of a wrecked situation, because it is true that the markets, obviously New York was not open, right? This was on Sunday. So a lot of retail can actually buy and FOMO into that pump, right? Which is misleading, the technicals as well, right? So overall, I'm sure a lot of people got wrecked with this movement, all right? Because on Sunday, you eventually get the massive news, and people are going to take this very, very seriously, right? And we can see how that retracement has gone all the way down, even below the start of that news event, right? It was the Bitcoin, Ethereum, rest of the altcoin reserve. And you can see all of the altcoins pulling back down, okay, to the initial stage of the pump, right? And also Bitcoin, as we can see. So now we need to go through the technicals, guys. It's just we need to go through the technical analysis right away and talk about, this momentum to the downside, which is kind of reminding me of the momentum to the downside that we did have last week, right? Which was this one right over here. Pretty aggressive. You do have the largest amount of volume here in the middle. So a little bit of chop right now where we currently at to maybe form a local bottom and find a bounce, right? And then possibly a lower high. There are several scenarios to take a look at, because I have to say, it is possible wherever the price bounces in this area that we could form a lower high and smack back down, and we're finally going to lose $79,000. That is if we don't go down there now in the next coming hours, which I don't think so. I think a relief rally of some kind of a few $1,000s is very, very possible throughout this movement to the downside. Now, we are coming down to a very, very crucial Fibonacci pivot, right, which is the pivot low here from last Friday to the pivot high. We are possibly going to hit the 7/8 Fibonacci retracement from the entire move up that we had last week, right, from Friday to Sunday. And we're just going to hit that 7/8 Fibonacci that could possibly get a reaction bounce here. Paying attention to this level, right? Paying attention to this level to see if we can find that bounce. And we need to analyze the movement to the downside, because I have to say, this does look incredibly impulsive. Very large volume in the middle. It is looking like a very strong impulsive move down. This no longer looks corrective since we created this massive dump, okay, that we formed, losing the important levels for the bulls, right? You can actually see when the levels are lost for the bulls is when you get the bears taking action here, taking advantage that the bulls have lost a crucial pivot here based on the fourth wave to create a fifth wave. And of course, bears take advantage and they absolutely crush the chart, okay, all the way to the downside here. Now, we're going to be doing a little bit of TA and looking at the different scenarios, guys, most importantly, all right, on what could happen. Let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me. Make sure to destroy the like button right away. And we're going to go right away through the technical analysis. We're kind of front running, okay, with a local double bottom at the moment, little tiny bounce, front running the 7/8 Fibonacci, which is a very, very interesting level to sniper, but we're not hitting that level. So overall, if we do not hit it, it's a local double bottom right there. This could get that bounce all the way to these highs, I have to say. But very, very crucial sniper trade right there for an initial bounce. And if we do reject from these highs, if we were to manage to get all the way up there, it seems like every bounce, you need a lot of buying pressure, right, to get a bounce. So it seems like, yeah, it doesn't even look like that we're going to manage to hit these highs, right? So overall, local double bottoms at this moment is without a doubt some sniper trading activity to claim at least these lower highs, as I do think that this very similar price action that we do have from the this movement to the downside that we did have last week, based on a fifth wave, is on the ending stages here. And obviously you are expecting some kind of relief rally bounce, okay, to happen in this zone, right? In this zone. And the main reason why is because we've had the aggressive drop already. Is this bounce going to be bullish or is it going to be bearish, right? Well, that's what we need to analyze very, very carefully, right? Because there is a scenario of forming a lower high and coming down and claiming down the lows. And that is because of this three-wave structure. We got that bounce here, getting a nice little bounce over a local double bottom, front running that 7/8 Fibonacci. Okay, so it's all about front runs here. It's all about front running the levels as well. A very, very crucial sniper trade long that has just happened right there on a local double bottom, right? We had one local double bottom here, right? As you can see, that eventually would have been a stop loss right over here. And then this one is the one that is playing out now with the gigantic move to the upside. Right, it is pumping over $2,000 now as we speak on the stream. But this was very much ready, a scenario that was ready to form. Okay, we are claiming the highs right now of this range. Very, very fast $2,000 pump. This was destined to happen. All right, it was really, really a scenario that was likely going to happen with hitting the 7/8 Fibonacci or without hitting the 7/8 Fibonacci. But you had a double bottom right there, and then this last double bottom that was front running the golden pocket. This was actually a pretty interesting scalp setup here, and obviously taking profit now at the highs of the range as a TP1. Now, the main reason, sorry about that. Yeah, pumping very aggressively right now, just shaking out those lows, forming local double bottom. The main reason why of this relief rally, and you understand that some relief rally, it has to happen right now, is because of this structure that we formed yesterday, right? And I got a few scenarios here to talk about on this movement to the downside, basically, okay? Because what we do have is in this movement right over here, where's the I will do it here on the stream. Actually, I will do it on the stream from scratch. From yesterday's movement down, let me know if you can hear me, guys, if we have volume. Let's go. First of all, let's go through the comment section. You will not liquidate my short market. Well, if you're short from higher, then probably not. Now we're getting a nice little squeeze down. I mean, this was ready for a bounce. It was ready for a bounce. It's only a $2,000-$3,000 bounce. Okay, this was actually a very, very acceptable long position, double bottom, local double bottom. Basically, this is a local double bottom and another double bottom here locally. Okay, very wicky, very hard to catch. You need to be an absolute sniper here as you do get down to the lows. And this is your take profit zone, right? Without a doubt, right? This is a possible level of rejection. But the main reason why this bounce could happen, right? It's understanding why was there a bounce likely to happen here? Well, we need to go here through the lower time frames. When you understand the waves, right? This is like when we analyzed this movement to the downside and understanding where we could get that initial bounce, right? How far can this bounce go? Where are we finding the end of this movement to the downside, which was this one right over here, right? That we were talking about last week, right? How can we analyze this bounce? Well, this has been very, very similar, and it's just a few $1,000s of a bounce, but it's good for a scalp setup, right? Local double bottom. And how you can find out from this is literally analyzing the movement down that we had yesterday. Okay, so the movement that we had yesterday was, you can count from this momentum the possible formation of a 5-wave move down. Okay, why 5-wave? Why here? Why, what are you talking about? Why these 5 waves? Well, as we do speculate on yesterday's lower high right over here, this movement to the downside, you can find a 5-wave, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You got 3 peaks here on the movement down, forming a contracting diagonal. This ended up in a complex lower time frame corrective move, right? We're looking at a possible bullish case here in this scenario. However, this did not play out. We did finally move down to 50% Fibonacci. This did not hold, and then we just eventually lost, okay, that uptrend momentum. So what you can analyze from the initial start right here is you have your 1-2 scenario. Inside of this movement down, you can clearly count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? You got a 5-wave move to the downside, completing your 3rd wave where you have the highest amount of volume, right? The highest amount of volume is usually in your 3rd wave. So this ultimately is your entire 3rd wave down. When you come to this conclusion, you understand that a local low is very, very, very close, right? However, the 5th waves can be very, very hard, right? They can double bottom, right? We were looking at the 7-8 Fibonacci. We could ultimately take that 7-8 Fibonacci from the low to the high here, and that is where the price could get the bounce. We ever so slightly front-runned the 7-8 Fibonacci here from the low to the high. If we zoom in, it was a local double bottom that we formed and just got a quick little bounce. This is a quick scalp, legends. Like, this is like get in, get out, okay? Ultimately, an aggressive short here because this could be a flat as well. Like very, very defensive, volatile, okay? Anybody that's shorting down here, well, eventually it's not a good idea, right? You want to short the bounce and claim some highs as a liquidity grab. So this is something that, I was looking at today based on, okay, and this applies very similar to this movement, right? You understand that a local bounce is very, very possible. And I'll let you know that if we do claim the lows again in the next coming hours, we have extreme high probability that the next bounce is going to be the large one, okay? Just like the movement down here, you claim the lows, and then you have the big bounce with news or without news, okay? Why, if we were to claim the lows right now, if this were to turn out into an ABC flat, that there is still high probability for the movement up because you have a finished, okay, or close to the end 5-wave move to the downside, as explained here, as explained also last week, right, with this movement to the downside, right? This one right over here, right? Saying, guys, we're very likely ending this wave. We are going to get a pretty nice bounce. Obviously, that came out with the news as well last Sunday. Understanding that the highest volume is in the middle of the movement, which is your wave 3. So you're kind of applying this on the lower time frames as well, right? You understand that a larger relief rally is on the way. Was this the low to form that larger relief rally, well, there are a couple of scenarios that we could get another 4-5, just like we got another 4-5 right over here. There are some scenarios because there is a double 1-2 possibility here. And that's what we need to understand, that we might get another wick down to the downside and then get the larger relief, right? The larger relief. Multiple patterns, multiple scenarios that could be on the formation here for Bitcoin. And I want to explain them on this live stream, right? And especially to give that education, to give that, common sense, to realize that, a local low could be in and we could be looking for another relief rally, and understanding the relief rally could be forming another lower high or even take out this high. And it all really depends on how we move up here, right? How we move up. Will it be a very poor movement to the upside, very three-wavy, and then we get, obviously looking for that movement down to take out $78,000? Or will we create a strong impulse after this movement down? We don't really know that. So there are several scenarios that I want to talk about on slightly higher time frame to give you, what could happen, right? Talking about fib levels. And don't worry, we have multiple scenarios. There's the bearish case, there is the bullish case. Ultimately, I would not expect, based on probabilities, that we are going to dump down from this area to take out $78,000 without a significant relief rally, And there is an explanation, of course, behind this. And this movement to the downside has to do with the probabilities of not breaking down to $79,000 just yet, There is a high chance that we could get down there, guys, based on this three-wave structure that we formed throughout Friday and Sunday of last week. Now, this is horrible. I don't like this one bit. There's the bullish case. We're going to have to really analyze the movements to the upside, of course. All right, what are the best levels, the best scenarios, the best waves, and overall, look at the week's wick like hell. Week's wick like hell. We can take a look at that right away. Strong analysis, Phantom. Look at the week's wick. I will take a look at that. If we do have any wicks on weeks, we can really go right away and talk about it. All right. Without a doubt. So let's take a look at that scenario. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is something that we're going to have to talk about with the team. It went to $100,000. It went to $100,000. I hope somebody had a long position and a take profit there. But yeah, this is not an acceptable scenario on weeks. So we'll have to talk about that to the team without a doubt. Maybe if you're in a long position, you had some take profits at higher levels, then eventually that 100K wick. Yeah, we'll have to take a look at that. Wow, this is insane. This is insane. I mean, if you had to take profit at 100K, then yeah, this is a glitch. This is a glitch. Anybody that has had any issue with this eventually needs to contact support, Not to worry if anybody was in any short positions on this scenario based on this wick on weeks. It will be fixed, It will be fixed, So not to worry. Let's go right away through the comment section and go through the analysis right now. So overall, as mentioned, first of all, let's do a bit of comment section. My goodness, watching a bit of tennis lately. I like tennis. Need to start playing a bit of tennis. Anyway, let's go through the comment section. Before we go through the multiple different scenarios here, guys, that could happen on Bitcoin, there is a bullish case. The bullish case is not too great, right? Not extremely bullish. It's not a bullish movement that we were going to go to all-time high in the next few days, but it could be taking out $94,000. There is that bullish case locally, but it all has been a little bit broken based on this three-wave structure, guys. This three-wave structure, the only bullish case that we do have is literally forming a three-wave movements throughout the next coming weeks, okay? Three-wave down, three-wave up. So it looks like we're going to be ranging quite a lot if the bullish case scenario is going to play out, okay? So anyway, we'll be going in detail on the different scenarios, okay? But ultimately, I need you to understand that a relief rally is very, very likely, despite taking out the lows, right? One more time, a larger relief rally is on the formation here. And this has to do on understanding that this wave is coming to its end stages, right? The massive capitulation wave, right? That retraced the entire pump that we had from Donald Trump announcement. Then eventually, you know, this drop needs to come to an end stages, right? You know, everybody's panicking and calling for much lower levels. We filled the CME futures gap locally, but we have high probability that this could be in local end stages, right? And it all has to do with the movement down that we've had, okay, throughout the last 24, right, to 48 hours, right? Very, very similar. Not the same, but similar to this movement. Of course, this could get choppy and you could form a couple of more waves down. And I'm going to explain that right away. And it's purely based on a multiple 1-2 right there. And you could have another 4-5 on the formation here. All right. But ultimately, looking for a relief rally before going to $60,000. Not 60,000, but overall taking out this low possibly, right? There is very much a valid scenario right now, and that has to do with the failed bullish attempt that we had yesterday, right? Throughout Sunday and yesterday, the failed continuation to the upside, and we understood that if this level is lost, it is game over, right? Game over for the day, and we're going to go to lower levels, right? It's just crystal clear for me. The invalidation, the level that does not need to be even hit, that if hit, there's no long attempts to have anywhere in this area until we get some clear end of structure formation as we do form the waves, right? Which is really what's looking very interesting right now for that bounce. So we're going to be talking about short trades and long trading setups as well, okay? Based on this local move to the downside. I do have a few plans and a few things ready here, so I hope it's gonna be relatively easy to understand. Okay, so we will go through a few of the scenarios here. And this one locally is one that I wanted to share with you right away here. Just so you can understand that the largest amount of volume, right? This is pretty clear for me to understand that this has been your wave 1 and your wave 2. Whether it's been a double 1-2 right over here, the third wave is in. The third wave is in right over here. And if the third wave is in, you realize that your fifth wave is coming to an end stage. And you're likely going to get that bounce to 382, right? At a bare minimum, most of the times. 382 Fibonacci, I mean, right? From the highs to the lows. At a bare minimum, the most common level to retrace to, which would be sitting at $86,000. So now it's, you know, where we're looking at the lows, right? Preferably we try and catch the lows and we don't get into any breakouts, right? Because if you're getting into a breakdown of a support and you short here, or you get into a breakout of a resistance and you're long here, well, then you are going to get wrecked, right? You just, you know, you need to try and short that, long the liquidity grab or short the liquidity grab, right? From lows and highs. You know, this is, this is why it's going to be very interesting if we do get another low here, because there is a high chance that that relief rally is going to happen. And then obviously if we're looking for shorts, it would be nice to short at a bit higher levels, right? This is no level to short, right? If you're not short here from yesterday, from higher levels, then shorting down here, you get the deal, right? It's just like shorting down here, right? When we are predicting that a reversal is on the formation. We are going to get a reversal of over $10,000, right? In the next coming days. Anybody that is shorting here, make sure to take profits at the lows, because a reversal will happen. If you're using a little bit of high leverage, you know, you're not going to handle this situation, right? All of those people that are shorting Bitcoin to zero and all of that, right? You're not going to handle. We need to understand when that reversal is going to happen. You know, shorting yesterday with the pump, yeah, you know, I missed out on this short, guys. I have to say, I missed out. Okay, I had to close the long position as well. You know, the long position was looking pretty not damn good. Did take a lot of profits on the long position throughout the last few days. I did add to the position, and obviously I needed to exit that long position because we took the 618 Fibonacci, right, from this movement up. The moment you take out this level, the longs, wherever you're longing from, wherever you are longing from, or trying to attempt the long here, or the double bottom here was an option yesterday, is the last level of support. We did not double bottom. We just smashed through the level. Okay, so there was no long to be taken anyway, based on, guys, the last level to get into trade, looking at the bullish case. And people will not remain patient and will not understand this, because people will say, all right, if we're talking about the bullish case scenario yesterday, right? And, you know, it's funny because I got a comment of somebody saying, you know, follow this guy and you'll lose and go broke. And it's like, no, you need to understand the technicals and where exactly to execute the trade. Okay. And that's what we do you know, we really try and do that. You know, I have to say this analysis is not particularly wrong. It's just, if we would have held the 50% Fibonacci, looking at this bullish case scenario, right? If we would have held this area and gone up, well, it's just where the bulls need to hold, right? And if you lose that level, you are no longer interested in any long positions, and you should be out before you get this drop down from any long positions, guys. If this is an invalidation level, there's a main reason why it's an invalidation, because if you continue in that long, you're going to get wrecked, right? This is explained. You know, if we hit the golden pocket, you know, and you start collapsing down, stay away of this analysis, right? This analysis has an invalidation level, which is this one right over here. And this is crucial for the people to understand, guys. You know, it's just, we're going to talk about a bearish case and we're going to talk about a bullish case. And if this level is crossed, then it's going to favor the bears or it's going to favor the bulls. And the sooner you understand that, well, the sooner you're going to be a better trader, right? And not a better trader, but basically manage risk, where you understand this is, you know, no longer where I want to be in a trade, right? So it's super crucial, guys, to understand, especially when we're analyzing the waves and the scenarios here. So, you know, this movement down is looking very interesting. I do see a relief rally, a significant relief rally before taking out the low, right? For all of, you know, for the bearish case, which is taking out the low that we did form last Friday. Some kind of a relief bounce is, you know, I wouldn't say imminent, right? It's not, you can't say imminent really when you're doing the technical analysis, but it's, you know, it's favoring a bounce before we go to lower levels. And it's understanding the structure, right? You need to understand this structure to understand that a bounce is very, very likely, right? You understand the structure here, that realizing that where the bounce could happen. And this is very, very similar scenario here. And now the question is, where a lot of question of the people, right, especially the bears, are going to say, forget about your damn TA. We're going to go down lower, right? You know, it's very, very hard to get these bounces. These bounces are mainly kind of liquidity grabs, right? Market maker liquidity grabs from people that are shorting late and shorters taking profit. So it's very hard to believe when you are so bearish, right? And this pump was helped by the tweet. There's no doubt about it. And now that tweet, okay, from Donald Trump, my goodness, this is going to create so many problems. It's creating already so many problems throughout X mainly, right? Throughout Twitter, based on, you know, it's a massive rug pull situation. But ultimately, with bullish news or bearish news, you know, we are looking at a high chance of this movement to look for a larger reversal, right? So we need to talk about the levels of possibility of the reversal, and we're smacking back down right now after claiming those highs. So this is going to be very, very interesting. Very interesting how we develop the next movement down here. Okay, because based on this analysis, yeah, we got a possible ABC flat right now for continuation to the downside. Claim the lows, claim the highs, and now claim the lows in the next hour, right? Or so, even sooner than that. It's going to be very interesting how we break down from this level and where to take action. So this ended up in a little bit of an ABC flat, okay, especially with this massive pullback, giving you that acceptable quick sniper short position with stop loss above the high, right? Quick claim of the low, claim of the high. And now is where we need to analyze the other scenario, right? Let's put the 7/8 Fibonacci here as well on the chart, and we're going to add up this to the folder of the bearish case scenario here locally, right? Because this can change as well, right? There's a possibility of this changing, right? There's this scenario without the ABC. However, there is another possible count here, which is a double 1-2 scenario here, where you have your first 1-2 right over here. You have your third wave finishing here, your fourth wave, and a fifth wave. You got one more wave down, and this has to do with this 1-2 over here. You got 1-2 and 1-2 right there. Also a valid possible count. And when you take a look at this second 1-2 to then create this third wave down, and then the fourth, and then another fifth wave here to ultimately complete this fifth wave down. Okay, so let's look at it like this and change the colors. Right, so a possibility of one more low is still possible, right, before we get a larger relief rally. And the 7/8 is going to play a crucial game, and the local movement to the downside is also going to be very, very crucial to understand how powerful this fifth wave can be, because this is a higher time frame fifth wave, meaning that you have the higher time frame wave 1 and 2, then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, completing your third wave. And now you formed your fourth wave. And now you need your fifth wave, right? So yeah, this movement down is going to be crucial to understand it, right? It needs, we need to really understand this movement to the downside. It is getting volatile, it's getting choppy. Ultimately, short positions at certain levels, they are without a doubt the best option, right? When you do get the liquidity grab from local highs and then you're aiming for the lows. So we're going to do some lower time frame analysis, right? Because, you know, literally the bears are in control. There's no doubt about it, right? So could we bounce from the 7/8 here? I mean, if we were looking at this scenario, the bulls need to step in now. If we are looking at the other bearish case scenario, right, which is this one, that you have a finished fifth wave, then bears need to step in. I mean, if we had ultimately massive bullish CVD divergence, which is not the case, No major massive shorts entering the market. There's more interest in long in here. So there's a lot of longs here coming throughout Bybit and some other exchanges. A big pump here. Lots of longs entering the market, so we're very possibly going to take out that low. And we do have the bearish case. Yeah, but if this were to be the end of the movement down based on this analysis, right? And we can add up here just the micro count so you can see it, right? Ultimately to form that third wave right over here. I mean, we should change this so you guys can see it. Right, that's a little bit more clear. Highest volume is in the middle. It's in the third wave of the third wave, right? It's in the third wave of the third wave. So, you know, local bottom here is on the formation. Taking out the low again or not and getting a larger relief rally is very likely to happen. And it's just understanding the theory here, guys. You know, it's super important. It's just understanding this scenario right over here. So anyway, let's go through the comment section. I want to talk about higher time frame, but I just love the lower time frame, as you know, as we analyze the different scenarios. But it's gonna be looking very interesting, because if we do, and I need your full attention here, we already have, all right, this is where it's going to be looking very interesting. We have the movement down on the lower time frame. We got the first initial move down. I would be looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here to get the next flush. Okay, this is why we need to analyze this scenario. This could take a bit of time, and it could get a little bit choppy and volatile to take out the low. I mean, best case scenario, I mean, it's looking very dangerous, right, overall for the bulls right now. But you do have this as an ABC, and you're hitting the 7-8 and you're back testing the lows. So I mean, the bulls do have a chance here based on that finished structure. Hitting the 7-8, it's like the ultimate level. You know, if this level, if you hit the 0.88, then you're likely going to take out the low. You know, let's leave it that way. If the bulls 1-2, I mean, we going through local technical analysis, guys. I mean, this is what you get here, because we can go through higher time frame, but you know, if you want the short-term analysis, right, which is like locally, very locally, 3 minute, 1 minute, you know that we try and do that here, and ultimately analyze the local levels and setups. We can go to the 1 hour and the 4 hourly time frame, which is very important right now, especially after this movement, guys, to understand the overall structure, because this has broken many things, right? It's just broken the uptrend, which completely changes the picture and gives you several scenarios based on Elliott wave theory that we need to understand. Okay, we need to understand and we need to explain them. So yeah, overall, I think the lows are going to be taken. It doesn't look too great here. I mean, it is kind of absorbing, but it's not looking too great. Yeah, there's no bullish CVDs locally. It just doesn't look great. Doesn't look great for the bulls, I have to say, here to get this as a back test. So it does look very interesting to come down and complete one more wave down. It does look like that is the highest probability to claim the lows one more time and then look for the possible bounce. I mean, the 7-8 Fibonacci is going to play a crucial game here, which has front run that level just with a recent drop. And if we were to go down and break the 7-8, we do have a naked point of control from this price action. I mean, that's probably very near where we have the 0.88. Ultimately, yeah, no, it's very low. Very low. yeah, there is a naked point of control from this consolidation. Naked points of control from this consolidation of last Friday. So it is down here, depending on what time frame you're looking at it. If you go to the 30-minute time frame, there's a large consolidation here. I do have a naked point of control from that level of the price action that we formed last Friday. Probably depends on what exchange. But it's ever so slightly below the 0.88 Fibonacci. I mean, without a doubt, looking for the best levels to bounce here. The best level to short happened already. We just got a quick swing failure pattern of the highs here. Okay, from this local consolidation, this was very, very fast. Unless you're in your power, moment when you're trading, right? This is like aggressive scalp long, scalp short in this mini range. But we're going to be talking more about a chilled little day trade swing long scenario, and obviously looking for the shorts. There's no day trade shorts at the lows here, despite that we do break down and go to lower levels, right? It's like if you want to short here, you need to be aware of these wicks, right? If you're using more than a 25x leverage, right, and you don't have good risk management, you're gonna get wicked out on these little movements or these little bounces. So ultimately, like Laz mentioned, I am looking for that relief rally, and that has to do with these 5 waves down. Okay, got a completion of 5 waves down. Let me go right away through the comment section. Say hello to the community. I'm just very, very focused on the lower time frame here, on the different scenarios of completing another wave down. Completing another wave down here to sweep up the lows is without a doubt an option. Before getting the bounce, okay, so it's chop. It's going to be very, 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 very complex to catch that low if the low is not already in. But the bounce looks inevitable, right? The bounce does look inevitable based on this latest move down, right? You got the highest volume in your wave 3. Now, obviously, this is where it becomes complex. What do you have here? Do you have a contracting move in your wave 1 and then your wave 2? Or do you have a double 1-2, which has completed your 3rd wave, meaning that you have another 4-5 formation? So you had your 4-5 take out the low, and now you got your 4-5 to take out the low one more time. That is the ultimate question right now, based on this relief rally that we are looking for. Best scenario is getting down at the lows, getting the double bottoms, getting the retracement down to the 7-8, right, and manage risk accordingly. And these little stop losses will get paid off once you get the larger relief bounce, right? And I would be taking a look at this $86,000 to be hit. That is with one more low or without one more low. It's just going to be very, very complex. I understand that this 5th wave could be finished here, but it would be nice to get a few more waves down here based on the double 1-2, right? This is what changes the game here. This little movement that we had throughout yesterday, there's 2 ways in counting this: contracting move in your wave 2 or a double 1-2. And the problem with a double 1-2 is that you're looking for a 4-5 4-5, take out the lows one more time, and then get the bounce. This is a very, very hard to catch the ultimate bottom based on this movement, right? It's not always as easy, right? It's never really easy. But you know, you understand that a relief rally is on around the corner, right? It's around the corner. No matter how many chops you create of the low, you understand on slightly higher time frame that relief rally is on the formation, and it's just really looking at this movement and understanding how the market moves in the waves, right? You know, very similar movement, even though this fifth wave did get choppy, it did get expanding, it was pretty brutal, and that's what we do not want to see, right? We don't want to see massive choppiness here forming an expanding move, because it is going to be chop and then reversal. But you understand based on the volume, right? And this is like a mini version. This is a mini version of this scenario right over here, where you understand that the middle is where the most power is, right? That's where the most power is, in the middle, which is your wave 3. All of the power of this movement down is here, where you have the highest amount of volume, right? And then what you do create here is just a bunch of choppiness, you know, before you get the reversal, which is counting your wave 5. So that is what's the situation right now. How many chops are we going to create here? Will we form a contracting move and chop down a couple of times, you know, to ultimately form that fifth wave and then get the reversal? Or is the local low in, right? I would lean on the side of a few more lows, right, and then get the reversal, and ultimately looking at the 7/8 Fibonacci for a reaction, or look at the 0.88, kind of the worst case scenario. And if you break down from the level, I would just have to say, you know, it didn't look highly likely that we were going to continue this waterfall, right? It's kind of, we're looking for this relief rally to happen based on the local structure between yesterday and today. Understanding, you know, very similar to this as explained. So I think we need to go to higher time frame. I will set some alerts here at the lows. All right, any aggressive scalpers on short positions, you did have that high taken at $84,500, and that was purely based on speculation on an ABC flat possibility on that movement. Very quick short to be taken on the rejection from those highs and take profit at the lows. So look, you know, that there was a quick short scalp based on the double top. Let's go right away. We need to analyze the local movement down, but I think it might take a bit of time. Yeah, this is going to be looking interesting. This movement down is going to be looking very interesting. For the moment, it looks very three wavy still. Very three wavy. So you would expect a pretty decent movement down. A possible correction, one more low to complete 5 wave, and then possibly get the reversal. So you're going to have to remain a little bit patient here. We're currently back testing the swing failure pattern level. This is retraced already too much. It's retraced too much to get a significant bounce. So the lows with bounce or without bounce, you know, there's just high probability that it could be taken out. Let's go right away through the comment section. And what we need to understand is a little bit of the higher time frame, guys, because we had higher time frame point of views here on the analysis based on yesterday's the pumpy action that we had on Sunday, the retracement. We did not manage to create one more high to have a confirmation bullish reversal, and this broke the charts completely, right? This movement down, taking out the golden pocket from the latest movement up, broke the chart completely, and now we have several scenarios that is taking out the lows here, other scenario that is taking out the highs, and another scenario that is forming a lower high on a relief rally and coming down to the lows. Okay, so we got several points of rejection and several points of bouncing. I mean, I wouldn't count this as a double bottom, okay, level. I wouldn't count that as a double bottom level. because we're very, very likely going to form a pretty aggressive move down, in my opinion. I think we're going to really, really break down this low. And this would not be an SFP level of interest. And I will explain that in the next coming minutes. Okay, so let's go through comment section. Then we go through the higher time frame point of view. Okay, I've got a few things ready here based on some different scenarios that could happen. And obviously the bullish one as well, which is, you know, we ain't going to start, you know, being too bullish at the moment, because unless we take out the highs and then we retrace down and we form a three wave, we ain't going to start talking about this scenario, which I think is extremely unlikely. It's already a rare pattern that happens, so we ain't going to talk about it really, because we're just very bearish and we are going down, right? So we're going to talk about the ultimate continuation down to take out the lows, which for the moment has the highest probability, unfortunately, based on this movement down. Pump and dump, please let me know so I could make profits. Let's go right away. I can see 𝗬𝗏 was around. 𝗬𝗏, my man, where are you? I did see you in the comment section. We're going to go right away through the comment section, and then we go through the higher time frame. As explained, guys, this is not going to be an easy range. It's probably going to get choppy, but ultimately you have your first initial wave one, right? You got the major movement down, and now we're breaking down, right? We are breaking down, taking out the 7/8 Fibonacci. Yeah, it looks like it's just rolling down for the moment. Rolling down for the moment. Just breaking down from the lows. So let's see how aggressive this movement is. Volume is kicking in here. So we really need to speculate on the possibility of that third wave. Fifth wave here on the formation. Still on the formation. So we really need to be patient on the movement down. But, ooh, it's looking bad, guys, right? It's like panic moment. Holy crap, we're going down to 60K, guys. Bear market, you know, is here, right? Bear market is here. Crossing down the 7/8. Holy smokes. Capitulation. We need to get that. We need to maintain ground here with some local bouncers, because, you know, that's what we want to see here. We want to see a little bit of this formation, right? You got your first initial wave one. You got your wave three. You know, this is what we want to see. We want to see this as the potential end stages of that wave five. But it's getting choppy, right? There's no quick long trade to be taken here. There's no quick long trade. It's just going to get choppy. We could hit the 0.88. It's not going to be an easy trade. You know, I would rather remain a little bit patient and see a little bit of a sign of strength throughout this movement to the downside. But we are looking for the end stages of this movement down, guys, to happen. So it's not a bad idea for people that have been shorting throughout the last few hours in this range to really consider, you know, taking some profits, right? Not close the position, but take some profits and be relatively defensive on the shorts, because as mentioned, you know, it does make sense for this to come to an end stage and get a large relief pump. I know it sounds impossible. It is not possible when we are very, you know, when the price is moving like this to the downside. It's just, you have the bearishness in your veins, right? You kind of got the bearishness in your veins, and you're like, you know, there's no way of a reversal here in this zone, and we're going to go to much lower levels. But when you go to slightly higher time frame, you need to understand that it is unlikely that the price does push down here to break down $78,000, right? It's just it's kind of an unlikely move to happen from this point. I mean, and if it were to happen, I would really have to come to the conclusion that your third wave is not finished. But you know, you would have to come to the conclusion, I'm like, what the hell? Massive capitulation. You're like still in your third wave down, right? Which is, you know, it is possible. But when we analyze this local move down, you understand it's like, yeah, this could be getting to its end stages for just a local relief rally. Okay, this ain't a relief rally that is gonna go to all-time high. But you just understand that, you know, you could get the choppiness here at this range and then get the bounce. Okay, just to be aware of any people that are shorting down here to manage risk, right? To manage risk very, very well on this movement down. I'm cooked, says Salvador. My portfolio on altcoins looks like crap, guys. I mean, there's no more to it, right? Altcoins, this is what it is. You will see it go up. You will see it go down. Your portfolio, you're going to see it go up, go down, go up, go down, right? That's like the what happens in crypto. And it is what it is, right? So some altcoins are not looking great at all. Ethereum, let's take a look at Ethereum. Oh my goodness, Ethereum is back down at the lows. It needs to maintain its ground here. It needs to get a bit of volatility below 2K and then find ground and start recovering and closing some daily candles above this major level of support and stop fucking around here, because this ain't looking too great. This ain't looking too great. You know, you need to maintain ground, get a bit of wicks here below 2K. But Ethereum, my goodness, I got a significant amount of Ethereum in my portfolio. It's my third largest holding after Bitcoin and Chainlink, and still in profits. Been buying Ethereum since it was $200, right? You know, been buying Ethereum from the previous bull market. A bit of accumulation the last few years, but it's almost at accumulation levels. So the gains aren't looking too great, I have to say, but it is what it is, right? We're gonna have to wait for another bull run based on our, you know, some crypto investments not looking too great. So let's go through. We need to talk about higher time frame, guys. Enough talk. Enough, you know, looking at the lower time frame and looking at the volatility here internally. I mean, you know, the 7/8 is the one that's getting the is getting there a slight reaction here. Still, obviously, you know, this is you understand that it's either the 7/8 that needs to hold, or it's the 0.88 before the bounce. And the local price action is without a doubt very, very important. Very, very important for that bounce. Yeah, I said I was going to stop with a local price action, okay? But it's just so interesting to analyze the waves here. It's trying to recover. It's going to be a fake recovery. Forget about it. There would be a little valid 5 count here. There would be a little valid little bit of a triangle right there on your 4th wave. Not the best looking one, but this is really on your looking at the second bearish case, right? If we add this to the second bearish case, which is the 112, I mean, this was relatively fast for your second 4-5, I have to say. It's very muy pequeño, muy pequeño, muy pequeño. Where's the other one? We're literally looking at this one right over here. Muy pequeño. This is the thing right now. 1 2 1 2 3, where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you got your 4, 5. You take out the high, and you're forming your 5th wave. However, this 5th wave is extremely fast and small. It's not the preferred scenario. You just realize that the relief rally is on the horizon, right? Ay, la puta madre. This is extremely fast for that 4-5. I would really lean on the idea that this is going to be a little bit more aggressive. You form your first initial wave, you get another movement down, and you form a possible contracting move here to finish a proper structured, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wouldn't believe that this is going to be the larger relief rally, but it could be, right? It could be. The timing wouldn't be looking great because it's been just extremely fast. So I think this bounce could form a lower high. I think this bounce could form a lower high. Anyway, let's go through the comment section, and then we need to go through a higher time frame, right? I think it is going to get choppy here at this range. We probably test 81k, probably test 80k. I think it's probably going to get a little bit more choppy. I wouldn't think that this is the low before the relief rally, but it could be. I mean, we got a small little 5-wave move down. It would be relatively quick. I just need to understand that it is possible, or we create a little bit of more chop before we get that bounce of a few $1,000s. So let's go through the comment section, and we need to talk about higher time frame, guys, because let's forget the 5-minute time frame for a second. Okay, let's forget the 5-minute time frame for a second and start focusing a little bit on the higher time frame. Okay, because I love the 1-minute time frame and the 5-minute time frame, but we need to focus here for the viewer the higher time frame perspective and what are the different scenarios, because I still believe that this is part of a correction. However, I still believe that all of this movement down that we had since all-time high is part of a correction, right? Despite what changed yesterday. And we need to explain, well, now what could happen is maybe either this, levels of resistance, either this, levels of resistance, either this, levels of support, how we need to get, how we can form the waves. We need to structure the different scenarios based on this bloody pump that we had on Sunday that ended up in a 3-wave structure, breaking the entire possibility of a recovery, strong recovery, right? Strong recovery right now is out of the window. It is out of the window. I don't say, there's no higher low here formed in a wave 2 and then we blast off in a wave 3 in the coming days. That is not possible anymore. That is not possible. So there's no over bullishness right now after this drop. Okay, it's not looking great. It's going to be very rangy. We have a high probability movement that takes out the low, right? So no bueno, no bueno, no bueno. But ultimately, I do think that after taking out the low at $78,000, I will be buying spot Bitcoin. This is a DCA zone. This would be a DCA level to get into once we break down the $78,000, 75, 72, right? It doesn't matter where that low does hit, because ultimately what I do understand, and catching the exact high and catching the exact low, guys, you're gonna have to really analyze the 5-minute time frame, the 3-minute time frame, and go through the microwaves and try and catch the exact bottom, right? Or that's almost close to impossible. So the best strategy for me is going to be DCA aggressively, right? I would be very interested in buying, quite a bunch of Bitcoin here throughout the movement down, understanding that this still looks corrective, especially after the pump that we had last Sunday. But because it was news or not, it doesn't matter. It's on the charts. So it's still leaning on the high chance that whatever happens here, I know people are broke and don't have money, and we do not have money printing activity. This is starting to be a big boys game, okay? There's big players that are buying Bitcoin. The average Joe is broke. I understand that. Nobody's buying Bitcoin. Well, you do have big companies. We've got 𝗕𝗫𝗃𝗃 here. We've got an interesting tweet that we need to talk about. We got, you know, big companies, Prime Minister looking at a digital asset framework by March as well from Vietnam. Not massive. I don't think there'll be a lot of Bitcoin buying, but overall, there are big companies that are buying Bitcoin, right? So this is starting to be a game of the big players, and they will take advantage to buy cheap Bitcoin, okay, at the lows. I can tell you that. So I'm going to be one of them that will DCA aggressively here in this area if we come down to this zone, understanding that this movement does not look impulsive to the downside and will come to an end stage in this area. It's just taking a long time, okay? And it's just ranging more because of the latest move. The latest move changed the game, right? The latest move that we had yesterday changed the game. And this still looks corrective, and I'll explain. We can explain why, right? We can explain why. You know, this was one scenario. This does not look impulsive. There's no impulsive move formation regarding Elliott wave theory that you can map with this price action since the all-time high. The only scenarios is starting to imagine multiple 1-2s, right, on the formation here. And then this being a fourth 1-2. I mean, this could have been a third wave, but you did retrace ever so much for a fourth wave. So you invalidating all of this massive bearish structure, which is rolling down with a lot of waves, okay, throughout the next coming weeks. That is invalidated. That is this is no longer a valid scenario based on the pump that we had last Sunday. So that is even good for the higher time frame perspective that we are likely going to move up in the next coming weeks, taking out the low of 78k or not, which is, you know, there is a chance without a doubt that we could take it. I want to explain that now in the next coming minutes. So first of all, comment section. Did not go through the comment section. I'm so bad here with the comment section. Let's go right away. Let's see how many likes we do have on the stream, guys. Now, the important information based on the technical analysis and the higher time frame is coming right now. So I need you to stay tuned. Smash up the like button, because this is where we're going to go in detail on the projections and the waves and what can happen right throughout the next coming days and weeks, right? We're taking a look at 4-hourly time frame, 1-hourly time frame, and we can have an extension of what can happen throughout the week or the next week or two, okay? Based on several scenarios. Let's go. Drum satellite. So many new buyers. Yeah, Trump belongs in prison, says Kevin. Well, yeah, I mean, this was very, very bad. Very, very bad. And apparently, we know that there has been some massive long positions of millions of dollars with a 50x leverage, right? Even shorts, which is absolutely crazy. There has been manipulation, right? Despite it's, you know, the charts gives us the different scenarios and different levels of invalidation. There has been, without a doubt, some manipulation throughout the last few days, okay? Regardless, you know, charts tell us a story. Manipulation has been there, right? We cannot deny that because it has happened. Aditya, my man, manipulation. Trump is a pancake, says Hilco. Smash the like button. Do you think Pi would have a positive in trading based on what's happened now, being in top 15 now after 2 weeks of launch? You know, I've done no proper research whatsoever on Pi. Oh my goodness, someone's speaking here. I could not understand these letters. You're gonna have to change the words right there. All things that break the rules and okay. Dumausa. I don't know what that is. Bro, what's that blue emoji? I don't know. Yeah, this is some satellite stuff. What is this emoji? What is this emoji? I have no idea. What's going on? Comment section is going pretty bananas. Weak hands, says Vinny. Yeah, weak hands are getting shaken out. I've not sold any more of my Bitcoin. I did sell some Bitcoin at $90,000 and at $100,000. 10% of my overall portfolio. Yeah, and I would buy back down. I would use some of that money to buy back down below $78,000 just because of the bullish case. And I think another all-time high is likely in the next coming weeks, okay? Whether that is going to be in March or April or May, well, it's going to be, we're going to have to really go with the waves throughout the next coming days. So anyway, hello to everybody. Let's see if we can get that like button absolutely destroyed. I don't manage to get into the long position, but I did short the local SFP from the high, take most of the profits. Absolute legend. Aditya, my man. This was also a scenario, you know, we were looking today, very, very difficult range, understanding that this could be a 1, 2, 3, and it's going to get choppy here. You could form a flat. You know, there's no major big swing positions in this range. You know, it's going to be a choppy fest, and choppy fest taking out the high, choppy fest taking out the low, right? There was definitely a possibility of a short position right there, as you did see here. Right, getting that wick above that level to speculate on the local flat structure to take out the lows again, right? But these are local scalps. You get in, you get out. Okay, if you get in on the double bottom, you'll be defensive as well. You're fighting overall aggressive trend to the downside. Very hard right now to speculate on this on the reversal bounce, right? The reversal bounce will happen fast. It will come unexpected. Right, and it will suddenly start bouncing out of nowhere at some point. So, you know, you need to be very, very cautious on trying to catch that bounce, because, you know, a lot of people will long maybe here, right, based on the reversal. Okay, this is reversing right now. I'm longing, you know, we're getting the bounce. Let's go. And then, no, this is not it. You know, you're ultimately safer trying to catch the local double bottoms, being defensive with your risk management and your stop, than trying to, you know, get into a possible fake out in a downtrend, right? So, but the bounce will happen when less you expect it, right? It's just gonna bounce, right? And it's gonna create a nice little bounce of a few $1,000s. So, shorters, be cautious anywhere in this range. Take profit at the lows. Be defensive. You know, this could be the end stages of the movement down, as explained throughout the beginning of the stream. It is time right now for higher time frame. I'm taking ages here to go through the higher time frame analysis because we're getting distracted with the lower time frame on what's happening on the 5-minute and the comment section. Anyway, I feel rude. It's been over 30 minutes right now without going through the comment section. I got some news and I want higher time frame, but overall the higher time frame analysis is going to be the next thing to do. Okay. So Andy, your TA tops in times like this. Thank you very much, Anup. Much love to you. I lost everything, says 𝗬𝗬𝗃. I'm not sure where you bought or where you leverage trade, but we talk about certain levels and certain projections and good risk management, okay? I lost all. My portfolio is not looking too great. I mean, Bitcoin's looking phenomenal. Bitcoin, you know, I've been buying Bitcoin for a long time. I'm not sure, you know, accumulating Bitcoin on dips. You can buy Bitcoin at 70K, 80K, 60K. It doesn't matter. Bitcoin's going to $500,000 in a few years, right? So it's a DCA long-term strategy. When I was starting to buy Bitcoin, $100,000 seemed like a pipe dream. It sounded impossible, right? And we've been literally here the last few months, and we take it for granted, right? Where's the bull run? Where's the $1 million Bitcoin? I want it now. It's like, woof, we've had an epic bull run on Bitcoin. And, you know, whoever's been buying throughout the last few years is eventually very, very happy, right? Such as myself, I got, you know, that's why I sold 10%, you know, and you're like kind of considering taking a bit more profit. But Bitcoin is for the long term, despite any bear markets, right? We go to 60K, then, you know, we'll have to buy a bit more. It's a very long-term game if you think about the spot buying. But if you're trading, well, we got local levels. Could you take a look at 𝗬�59, says Jose. Man, we can take a look at 𝗬�59 right away. If you're interested in trading 𝗬�59, trading Bitcoin, you got Weeks, guys. Weeks has got an awesome bonus right now, which is 50% deposit bonus with a cap of $1,000, okay? So if you deposit $2,000, you are getting $1,000. This will take around about 48 to 72 hours to get airdropped to your futures account, guys. Take advantage of this. For the big players, you still have the $30,000 deposit bonus. The more you deposit in trade and more volume that you move, you're going to get thousands of dollars in your futures account to increase your capital for trading. Of course, all of the profits that you make with a bonus, you can withdraw eventually, right? Take advantage of Weeks, guys. You just need an email and a password for anybody that does not want to give any more information. Email and password is just fine, and it works great, guys. Take advantage of that bonus with the link down below, 50% deposit bonus. Let's go. Before we go through the higher time frame analysis, I need to take a look at the like button. Okay, we got 300 likes and over 1,000 people. This ain't good. No bueno. This is no bueno. 𝗬𝗵𝘃, my man, I can see you here in the comment section. Weeks is not for weak traders. You're damn right, my man. Let's get to 500 likes, and then we're going to take a look at the higher time frame perspective. I think a local bottom is very close. Okay, it can get a bit wicky, it can get a bit shaky, but overall we're analyzing the waves on the micro, and this is a dangerous area to short. I mean, if you have a strategy to add to your short positions on a bounce, then that is all on you, okay? But this is not a level to short. You should have been short from the last 24 to 48 hours. I missed out on the short. Took the rest of the profits after losing the golden pocket from the long position that I had, but overall, profits are profits. Missed out on the short. We invalidated the bullish case. And now kind of looking for the next setup. I mean, there is that long trade from the lows here based on the micro counts. Not easy. Very choppy. Looking at all of this, guys, a bunch of micro waves and saying, you know, do we have another 4-5 in, or is the 4-5 finished right there? Wow. Right? You want to catch those bottoms. Bottom catching, you know the deal. You get smelly fingers if you do not manage risk, right? But it does make sense to try and bottom catch those wicks here. You just need to have stop losses at the lows, guys, of the wick. You know, and be defensive with your stop loss, you know, at entry from a local double bottom. If you get stopped out at break even, you're paying a bit of fees. That's it. You know, nothing too important. Manage risk here, guys. But it does make sense to do a bit of bottom catching here, because as explained on the lower time frame. So let's get that like button pumped up to 500 legends, because yeah, I'm not happy. The like button hypes me up. I get hyped up with the like button, and I'm like, yeah, boom, bam, no, you know, if this happens, that happens. Let's analyze these waves, this Fibonacci, this confluence, this could happen, bang, 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 right? Now, if we don't get the likes, then I'm going to be a bored old fart, right, doing the analysis here. And we need to get that like button pumped up. 𝗬𝗵𝘃, my man, shout out to you, my brother. Jeroen, much love. Thanks for the super chat. I think you wanted to ask something. You forgot about the question. We'll take a look at 𝗖𝗿𝘆. I'll remember this, Jose. Okay, 𝗖𝗿𝘆 we're going to take a look at afterwards. Okay, we need to do higher time frame analysis on Bitcoin. But first of all, we need 500 likes. So I'm going to go and take a hike. And when I'm back from the hike, I want to see 500 likes, legends. Come on. And then we're going to go through higher time frame. Yes. Yes. We did not get to 500 likes, but we did get a few dozen. That's good enough. You lazy buggers. Let's go right away through. I love listening to Andy begging for likes. I always beg for likes. It's very sad, but I have to, you know, I'm the kind of person that needs to beg for likes. Only got 2 likes and 1,000 people watching. This is no bueno. No bueno. Can't like twice. Thank you, Alec. Much love to you, my man. Smash the like, says Spaceland. My man, 𝗬𝗵𝘃. I hope you're doing well, brother. Much love to you. Much love to you. Good friend of mine from back home. Much love to you, brother. Hope you're doing well. I saw 420 likes. Yes, we got the likes, guys. Let's go through the Bitcoin TA, okay, on higher time frame and try and understand what this bloody market is doing. All right. Do we have to become bearish? The massive bearish sentiment that there is here at all-time high levels is incredible. Is incredible. You know how was the sentiment back here on the previous cycle I was in? I managed to cash 25% of the portfolio. Luckily, I did cash something, legends. I was pretty newbie here. I did cash out 10%. So if this turns out into a bear market, you know, I would have made more profits in this bull cycle than this one. What do you think about that? But overall, this Bitcoin is for the long term, right? It doesn't matter. The sentiment here was ultra bullish. It was so bullish, it was insane. Especially here, it was so bullish. We're breaking highs. This is it. Let's go. We're going to 100K. It was incredibly bullish. The sentiment now with this drop down, right, losing the lows of the range, is massively bearish. I need to know your opinion based on, you know, let's ask a poll here. Guys, are you feeling bullish on Bitcoin, right? Let's give some target zones, right? Let's say 60K Bitcoin because we're in the middle, or, you know, and that would be an epic drop, or all-time high. Okay. Let's ask here the community right away. Hang on a second. Let's get this poll ready. What comes first for Bitcoin? Let me know right away, guys. I'm going to put all-time high or 60,000 Bitcoin. That would be a $22,000 drop from current levels, right? Do we think that 60K, right? That would be already bear market. That would be like confirmed bear market, guys. But it would be the moment to start buying. There's no doubt about it. But that would be the drop that we've been taken. What comes first for Bitcoin, guys? All-time high or $60,000. Let me know your opinion. Woo! There is some bears kicking in here. There is some bears kicking in. So anyway, let's go through the TA, guys. I'm making this a little bit of an entertainment show, right? It is a bit, you know, we need to make it a bit entertaining, because if not, it's very, very boring. So let's go right away through the different scenarios. Woo! We need to scratch off the chart some scenarios that we mentioned that last week, right? One of them was this one. This no longer becomes a fourth wave, so this no longer becomes an impulse possible, right? No possible for an impulsive move down on Bitcoin, right? Very strongly, right? To form multiple 1-2s, and we're just going to absolutely capitulate in a third wave. It extremely loses probability that right now we are forming an expanding move down here in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to form your third wave after your 1, 2, 1, 2, right? This is all a bunch of nonsense. You know, maybe we could analyze that scenario if you take out the low and get the bounce and then say, okay, you know, what if this is an expanding move? But we're not forming that. That would be ultimately the next step. We're not leaning with that scenario. We're leaning on this possible, right? And this is an alternative scenario, right? This is still part of a corrective structure. And all of this is a new formation based on the movement that we had yesterday. Because yesterday we were pretty, you know, I'm gonna say myself, I was looking at, you know, the bulls have a chance to create another wave up, right? We're moving up. Let's see if we do not form a three-wave structure and not an ABC, and we do manage to make one more high, right? Just one more high, right? And bouncing at those levels at 50%, right? Needed to hold. If 50% doesn't hold, we hit golden pocket. It completely invalidates. There's no longs to be taken anywhere here. Nowhere, right? And it's super important to understand that, guys. It is crucial to understand it. Right? You are bullish till you break the invalidation level. You are bearish till you break the invalidation level, right? You can't always be bearish and always bullish. Once you hit invalidation, you need to understand that the bearish case, right, is in favor at the moment. So that no longer happened. And because of that breakdown from the golden pocket, invalidating the fourth wave to create the fifth wave, right, from this scenario right over here of yesterday, as we broke down $88,000, it was your last hope level. Well, basically $89,000, 50% had to hold. 88 was really your hard invalidation here. As this got broken down, we need to map the scenarios differently. And how we map the scenarios differently is this right over here, which basically what changes is the next movements, the possible next movements that could happen in the next coming days, right? And we'd still do count this possibly. It doesn't really matter how you count this. There are two valid counts here based on this this corrective structure. There are two valid counts which only, you can count this from the high. An expanding move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is a valid count. You got 5 waves in an expanding movement. You got the bounce here, and this can be your B wave or this can be your B wave. It doesn't really matter. The end wave happened here on your C wave. It doesn't really matter here where you put your B wave, either this high or this high, because they both have a valid count. Why do they both have a valid count? Well, we can explain that right away. If the B wave were to be here, there is a possibility of a triangle formation on the form here, right? Not the most beautiful one, but there is. There is a kind of a very, very dodgy small little triangle here. A, B, C, D, E. Very, very dodgy, and your B wave would have to be down here. Okay, so I mean that would be a valid count. Very choppy, very not nice. Okay, and the other one, just keeping it a little bit more simple, you got the quick bounce up in your B wave here, forming the lower high. Okay, and then you have what we mentioned a few days ago, right, which was that contracting move right over here. Your flat wave here. So you got your A, flat, B, and then your C wave, which was the ultimate last movement down that we were analyzing a few days ago, right? Really predicting that, a low is very likely going to happen. And we had certain levels where we could bounce the $79,000 one, which was the one that got the bounce down there. And it doesn't matter how you count this B wave, right? And at the end of the day, this could have been the end of the wave, or this could have been the end of the wave, because what is most important is that this is one wave. All of this movement is the wave that you need to count, right? Which ultimately counts your C wave, right? So that is the most important. The B wave, it doesn't matter. There's a valid count here and here, right? So let's just go with this one, which doesn't really matter. With this happening, and then we'll get to the conclusion on the explanation, guys, on this movement up, which is a 3-wave structure, which completely changes the map here right now, okay? It completely changes the map. We'll be going through fib levels and what are the different scenarios that could happen, right? This one here is one of them. Another one is forming a movement up here in a zigzag, which is forming a ABC. You got a 3-wave structure here on the formation, and then you have, you're literally going to have to move like this and then like this, right? So then you have a 3-wave move up forming your X, and this, oh my goodness, this is going to be incredible. I think lots of people are going to be bullish when we do get up to $97,000, $98,000, if that were to be the case. But it is a very trappy level, guys. There's no doubt in my mind that this is a rejection point. I would have been bullish if we would have formed another high yesterday, correct. and then say, guys, it is time. We are heading to all-time high, you know, pretty confident on it's going to be looking very good for the impulsive move up. But if we take out $97,000, $98,000 in the next coming days, it's going to be a trap pump, and we're likely going to pull back. Okay, so if the price does manage to pump $5,000, which we're going to have to see something here, right? Man, these times, if we need the president of the United States, right, that tweets on cryptocurrency reserve, right, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we get a pump and dump, man, it makes me feel very bearish, guys. I have to say, it makes me incredibly bearish inside of me. I got the bear inside of my veins. It's insane. If we get the president, I mean, picture this, guys. You think about it for 1 second. If we get one of the strongest economies, right? One of the biggest country, right? Great America, make America great again. One of the most powerful countries, the most powerful country, you would arguably discuss. The president, pro-crypto, that tweets about a crypto reserve, a Bitcoin reserve, right, followed with some altcoins, and you get a pump and dump, you know, after a pretty epic bull run that we've had the last 2 years, you need to feel bearish about it, guys. You know, I cannot deny that I feel bearish about this event. I really feel bearish about this event. What is it going to take to make Bitcoin pump $20,000, $30,000 to get to all-time high again? Right? We're going to have to see countries fighting for Bitcoin or something. I don't know. What, right? What comes next? Anyway, it's on the charts as well, and the charts gives us information based on the events that could happen, right? Whether it's bad news or good news. For the moment, it does look like that we have high probability that we are going to take all-time high before entering a bear market, taking out the low or not taking out the low again. There is a chance of taking out the low right now based on the analysis. But my goodness, guys, this event, you know, it's pretty shocking, right? Let me turn the air conditioning off because I'm getting cold. I'm getting cold just thinking about this because, my goodness, I'm getting cold, guys, because of this. Let me take a look at the poll here. Let's say all-time high. I'm an ultra bull. Wow. We haven't got that many votes today. Okay. People are feeling lazy with their finger, right? You know, if you're lazy by clicking the like button or voting, come on, guys. What is your girlfriend gonna think about you? Come on, get those fingers moving, guys. Get those fingers moving. Vote. Smash up the like. Come on. What is your girlfriend going to think about you? Move those fingers. Come on. Anyway, all-time high, 55%. So it is a big fight in between bulls and bears. It is a 50-50. So I've lost tens of thousands in altcoins. Me too, brother. They're not lost until they are realized, okay? My portfolio ain't looking good. I don't want to share it because it looks bad, right? We are down. We are down. I think that's the funniest thing I've ever heard from you. Yeah, I don't usually joke that much here on stream. We try and keep it serious and professional. But yeah, come on, guys. You're a bit lazy with those fingers with the like button and voting here, right? There's over 1,000 people. So I would say that over 50% of the people here, wifeys are not happy, guys, with you. Man, will we recover until the end of 2025? Yes, there is. Good to DCA into alts now. Yeah, without a doubt, DCAing, yes. Don't go all in, but, you know, start dabbling in, because when good times happen, that's when we need a sell, right? Sell out a 3x, a 4x, a 5x, a 10x. Stop thinking about the 100x's, guys. That is another world, okay? So great analysis, Andy. Thank you, my man. We only just getting started, okay? We only got getting started. It's an hour of streaming. It seems like I haven't talked about anything good. I voted to make hubby happy. Thank you, my man. Yeah, about the votes, 500 votes. Yeah, there's a big fight, guys, in between bears. Look at the sentiment here. It's a 50-50, right? Over 500 votes from people watching the stream. And we have, you know, what comes first, right? All-time high. We actually bottom out. We maybe test 78K again, below 75K, and then get the recovery to all-time high. Or we actually break down to 60K. That would be over a $20,000 drop, right? And you know, you're obviously looking at bear market continuation, right? Very, very bearish because of economy. People are broke, right? That's it. This was the bull run. You know, we're entering bear market. The overall bearish sentiment is real. It is real, right? So, I mean, this is good. This is always good for a reset. This is always good reset signs. This is reset signs, right? Because when it pumps back up at some point to 100K and starts hitting all-time high, well, eventually that's when, you know, maybe more people are going to be bullish. They're going to start hearing those very, very bullish targets of 200K Bitcoin and 300K Bitcoin, which I don't think we are going to hit this cycle eventually. But overall, another all-time high, I think, is very, very likely. And there's reasons to believe that based on the technical analysis, even though the sentiment is crap. And we got the Mr. President from the US absolutely kind of breaking the, you know, breaking the bullish sentiment, right? Kind of getting in doubt of, you know, can Bitcoin really push through here if we have the president talking about, you know, a crypto reserve for the US, and it's just retraced all the way down, right? Even getting beneath the lows. This kind of attitude, right, and event that has happened after a pretty damn epic bull run, guys. You know, we've had a pretty damn epic bull run. We have had a bull run. Now the constant, this is why I sold 10%, and I'm really considering selling another 10%. So I'm getting shaked out here, guys. I'm starting to get shaked out, but we are still leaning on another all-time high. And if the all-time high is broken with power, well, eventually it's like, oh, why did I sell my Bitcoin here, right? I sold 10%. It was part of my strategy. Sell at 90,000 and sell at 100,000, because $100,000 is going to be a tough nut to crack, but not sell everything, right? I mean, I can't sell all of my Bitcoin. This is something that, you know, you can't, it's also very bad because you kind of have that emotion, but I know it's like a reserve for the future, right? And, you know, despite getting into a bear market, bull market, it's something that grows steadily throughout the years with the bear markets in the middle. Of course, it's inevitable. But it's just a long-term thing, right? And I just thought, you know, I'm happy with how much Bitcoin I have. Let's unload a few Bitcoin because, come on, man. You know, we are at 100K. You've been wishing and dreaming for $100,000 from the previous bull runs. You're here now. So if you're here now, you just need to take profit, right? Even though if it's 10% or 5% or 20%, you need to really, really take some profits if you've been aggressively buying, right, throughout the last few years. You just need to, guys. You never know what's around the corner. So it's a must. Never sell all of your Bitcoin, right? But that's my point of view. But you need to definitely take profits. And if we get into bear market, you got some cash to buy at lower levels. So taking a look at this scenario. Sorry, guys, I'm going through here and just talking and not going through the analysis. Very, very bad. Very bad from myself. So this is what we're looking at. Okay? And there is a few scenarios here. If we were to form, okay, a zigzag here to the upside, all right, if we were to get some kind of bounce, which literally looks impossible at this point, right? But if you do manage to form a higher low and you bounce significantly in a three-wave structure to the upside, what I am looking at is that inside of this area, you are likely going to form either an X, okay? Because what you're looking at here is a zigzaggy move, just like you formed a zigzag move down here. And this will no longer look like a powerful move to get to all-time high. The rejection here is extremely likely. Okay, and this is one scenario. What you're looking at here, we're not looking at this, guys. I've just put this on the chart because it's another setup. But if we were to form a higher low here and get that bounce, okay, I'm not sure how we're going to get that bounce. It's just the most bullish scenario locally, guys, which is just looking unreal at the moment, right? It just looks unreal after this pump and dump from Mr. President. Crypto reserve asset. What a joke, right? If that is a joke and we get a pump and dump, guys, you know, it makes you think and it makes you worry. So kind of worried about that situation, that event that happened. So there is this scenario or there's this one. Okay, regardless, both of these scenarios, I mean, this would be the bullish case scenario for the next coming months, right? This would take a few weeks and you're going to look for a pullback and then look for a movement up. We are not considering this contracting, ascending contracting diagonal, because you need to at least form this wave and this wave, right? And then you can speculate on this, right? We haven't even, you know, this might break down and all of this becomes a bunch of a big fat nothing burger. But it's something to consider because you have a 3-wave move up and you could form a 3-wave move down and form a higher low and then form a 3-wave up, right? And then you're building up a contracting move. Just because we have 3 waves up and we possibly have 3 waves down, this is a possible pattern formation that could happen, even though it sounds unreal right now. And we're so close to the lows that you will believe it's not going to happen. Come on. But it's not only looking at this, as we do have this possibility, taking out the highs, right? And getting to big levels of resistance. I mean, where we did reject was almost the golden pocket, the point of control, right, from this entire range. We kind of front run that level, so that level was not hit. It would make a lot of sense to get all the way up here and really reject from that level. So I would be very, if we were to move up now, it sounds impossible, to $97,000, it's still a good confluence level, as we did mention as well. Throughout the pump that we had yesterday, guys, if we were to move up, you know, that golden pocket from the high to the low, and also the point of control is going to be a tough nut. This is where you're going to get that choppiness, and we are likely going to reject down several $1,000s. There's no longer a wave 1, 2, and massive 3 to get to all-time high. This movement, I do not see it happening. I do see the price moving up to $97,000, round about that range. This is really a level that we're going to have to eye very carefully on the rejection, just because we formed a 3-wave structure. This is not going to be a zone to become ultimately bullish, because we formed a 3-wave move up throughout the last few days from Friday to Sunday. This 3-wave move up invalidates the potential of forming a massive impulsive 3rd wave. It is broken. It cannot happen, right? It cannot happen. It is an unlikely scenario to happen. Let's leave it that way. Okay, we cannot say it cannot happen, because then it happens and then you're like, hey, you said it could not happen. It's an unlikely scenario, right? We formed a very 3-wavy move to the upside, and that is kind of confirmed. And the only bullish attempt that we have based on this 3-wave move up is forming an ascending contracting diagonal, which is obviously, it ends up being bullish. You likely get you will get a pretty decent pullback after forming this kind of ascending wedge, but it's the only bullish case, right? And this would be your wave 1, this would be your wave 2, and then eventually you're looking for your wave 3 to finally break out all-time highs very impulsively. It's the only bullish scenario that we have to get to all-time high. It's a sad, sad scenario, because it's going to be long, it's going to be rangy, it's going to take several weeks to develop, but this is what we got. There's no longer, this is the low, impulsive move in a wave 3 to all-time high. There's no longer the possibility of that analysis at the moment. And that is because of this damn move to the upside. That's a 3-wave structure. So it's going to take a bit of time, in my opinion, to get to all-time high if we, you know, with or without taking the lows, okay? So this is why, like mentioned at the beginning of the stream, guys, I think we're going to get a pretty nice bounce of a few $1,000s before taking out this low, okay? Before taking out $79,000, a bounce to 86, even $88,000 is, you know, even $90,000 maybe, all right? Just a general bounce is very, very likely to happen based on what I explained at the beginning of the stream, which is this movement down looks like it is coming to the end stages. Okay, and check out the beginning of the stream. It must be you know, the first 20 minutes or so of the stream where we go through lower time frames on this movement down. We should have done higher time frame first and then lower, but we were getting a bit of volatility at the beginning, so we just focused on that movement, that volatility that we had. So yeah, a bounce looks very, very likely, okay, before taking out this low of $78,000. I don't think that the price in between today and tomorrow will crash down, will capitulate and take out the low, okay? Well, you need to take that with a pinch of salt, guys, because, you know, I'm looking for local double bottoms like we just have. We're looking at that 5th wave to finish, right, like we just explained. And this is like a few days ago, trying to predict, guys, we're ending this movement, right? This movement is coming to an end. The question is, will we take out the low, form an expanding move? And this is literally what happened, right? Because we had a couple of scenarios here. We can't just talk about one scenario. We talk about the different possibilities, and then you take action based on how you want to trade it, right? You take action with your risk management, right? $79,000 was the level to hold our support. It got choppy, it got difficult, but the ultimate recovery did happen from that level. And there is a very similar analysis, but on the lower time frame eventually, looking at this movement down, right? And you can predict that a local bounce is very, very likely, okay? A local bounce of a few $1,000s is extremely likely, whether you take out $81,000 or not. You know, before you take out this low, the choppiness here is likely going to get a bounce of several $1,000s. You know, it's just it just makes sense based on the movement down here that we have, and that's explained on the lower time frames at the beginning of the stream. So this is one scenario, and this is another scenario, right? This other scenario, and I need to change this. We'll put this as one scenario that could happen, and there's a possible bounce. Yeah, we're gonna have to change color here because there's this one right there that comes and breaks down and takes out the low, right? And there is this one that on the movement down, instead of breaking down to the lows, you bounce back up, and we're gonna have to change this color because if not, it's gonna go a little bit crazy. We're gonna put it yellow here. The other scenario is bouncing up in a 3-wave structure, right, to form your X wave. Not sure if you picture this, but we're going to try and explain it. You have the possible local bounce before taking out the lows that forms, okay, another 3-wave move up, and then you crash down to take out the lows. And literally what this would mean is that you are finishing your X right over here and your Y right over here. The timing wouldn't look great, But regardless, if we bounce and form a lower high, we can go internally on the levels of resistance and Fibonacci now. But you're literally forming a lower high between the 50%, right, and the 7/8 Fibonacci. And you're coming down and you're taking out the low pretty aggressively. There's no quick swing failure pattern from here. I think it could get pretty aggressive and move down. There's no easy levels. There's a weekly naked point of control, which could be the target zone. And that weekly naked point of control, where is it? Yeah, that weekly naked point of control is sitting at 76,300. That would be the ultimate level to speculate on longs. And that weekly naked point of control was from the price action that we had the first week of November, second week of November. Sorry, my bad. Right? There's a nice consolidation from the second week of November, as you can see on the chart, a little bit like an order block right over here. And this is a high volume node, right? Very, very strong support. Just like we had a high volume node at $79,000 and we bounced over $10,000, right? 15,000 because of the news on Sunday. But it held as support. And that was ultimately the level to hold based on the end of this movement. I mean, we'll be updating, of course, as we develop on those movements, guys, to say we could bounce from here, we could reject from here. But we're just playing around with higher time frames now based on the bearish case, which is taking out the low to finish this WXY. And we need to clean up the kitchen here soon because it looks like a big fat mess. But overall, you have a large consolidation the second week of November. And there's a weekly naked point of control. Very, very strong level. Looking at this scenario, we need to clean the kitchen here. It would make sense that you formed a 3-wave move. You are forming a 3-wave move down as well. Okay, it would be relatively fast in timing compared to this movement down. But you would have to come to that conclusion that, you know, if you move down fast after the bounce to take out the low, you're either bouncing at 76,300, and if that is lost, I mean, we really need to analyze the waves that are forming. Okay, it's just it's a possibility. I mean, this could go to much lower levels. This could really go to much lower levels. So I mean, we really need to analyze the waves down here. You know, we can't rely on the naked point of control to get the bounce. We just need to really monitor how we're moving down there. So, I mean, these are just higher time frame projections. We cannot, you know, this is why I like lower time frames a lot. Because you understand on the higher time frames what are the different setups that could happen. But we look for day trading setups most of the time, right? Local levels of resistance and support and the movements of a couple of $1,000s to get into some day trade scalp scenarios. But this would be one scenario. You bounce, you form a lower high, and you form another A, B, C. So you got an ABC up, an ABC down, right? Which ultimately forms your larger WXY in a kind of a double zigzag. This movement would be much faster in time than all of this W, but it would still be valid. So that's the bearish case. You form a lower high in between the 50% and the 7/8 Fibonacci. I mean, you really have to monitor this on the lower time frames. Of course, the Discord will have those updates on lower time frames, analyzing the local waves. But that is definitely right now a scenario that could happen, right? The bearish case would be this one. You got a 3-wave move up, you got a 3-wave move down, you take out the lows, and you bounce at 76, right? Or maybe at lower levels, depending on this structure. We'll be analyzing very carefully that drop to see if it's possible based on fib extensions to see if we can bounce here. The bullish case is you form a 3-wave move down without taking out this low, and that would be like scratching the 0.88 Fibonacci from the low to the high, And this really does sound like Chinese, guys, but overall it is one of the scenarios that could happen. You form the 3-wave move up, you form a 3-wave move down, and without taking out the low, you jump here into this yellow version, forming a 3-wave movement to the upside, which gives you the possibility of a larger, much better, more symmetrical 3-wave move up, and then a 3-wave move down, right, to finally form a larger, much symmetrical WXY. It's going to take weeks to develop. But we are, we are downtrending, but we're still very much going to be ranging, right? It's going to be down, it's going to be up. Okay, so that's one scenario. And this scenario right over here, also, you have the bullish case scenario, which is this one, right? Ultimately, that contracting, ascending, right? Ascending, contracting diagonal right there, which is also a possibility. This would be the only bullish case scenario eventually, without taking out the low, which this would still have to move. This would still have to develop. So not much more to say about the higher time frame. Those are the different scenarios that could happen in a nutshell. I mean, there's so many scenarios, it's pretty crazy, right? But overall, it's a zigzag here because you have a zigzag, and you have a zigzag taking out the low, or you have a zigzag here not taking out the low, and you finally get the push up to the highs. Ultimately, this level would be the best zone to speculate on a short, because a retracement from here is kind of almost inevitable, right? Because the bullish case of a 1, 2, 3 is just not in the map at the moment. So a rejection from the $97,000 point of control and golden pocket from the high to the low is like the meat and potatoes, right, of confluence levels of resistance. And it does map up here with the WXY or the contracting diagonal, right? There is a possibility as well. And the resistance there to get the pullback of a few $1,000s. And this would be a pretty good short setup to get into. But we'll be analyzing that, of course, on the live streams. For the moment, obviously this becomes pretty irrelevant, right, at the moment, because it's higher time frame and we have so many scenarios that could happen that eventually it doesn't come too interesting. So analyzing the lower time frames now. Lower time frames, let's go through the comment section. My goodness, guys, it does take a bit of time here, but I want to go through comment section, answer a few questions, right, that anybody has. Will live again, umbrella, yes. My short is still on fire, absolutely epic. Make sure to take profits, right? That's the thing, right? People have trades open for many weeks, forget to take profits, right? Always take profit on your trading setups. Stocks getting wrecked today, but crypto not moving much. That is good. What is stock market doing? Oof, stock market taking the hit down. My goodness, on the stock market taking a bit of dumpy, and that has to do with the tariffs as well. Kind of confirmation of tariffs, confirmation of a recession. And it looks like Bitcoin is just trying to maintain its ground. And it all has to do with the technical analysis as well. I mean, we've had a very aggressive move down yesterday, okay? We had a very, very aggressive move down. And as explained, it could get choppy here. It could get a lot of chop, but it does signal, as mentioned, that you do have your wave 1 right over here. You got the aggressive move down, and now you're just choppy. Are you going to form a contracting move, right? And then get the bounce at some point, testing the lows one more time or not. This is where it gets very, very choppy on the 5th wave. before you get that larger bounce. But that larger bounce is kind of expected because the movement has already happened, and we need a little bit of a relief, little short squeeze scenario to then get power to move down, right? The price needs a bounce to then ultimately get people bullish and get the movement down. And without a doubt, this would be a scenario, right, where you get a three-wave movement up here. You come to 87, 88, maybe 90,000, right? Ultimately, like the most bullish case. If we were to get all the way up there in a three-wave move, definitely would consider, you know, the 618 or the 78 from the drop to look for a lower high and take out the lows. I'm not sure if we will get that strong of a bounce here. But yeah, now it's really eyes on the choppiness. Now we stock market is dropping down pretty aggressively. Ooh, stock market is taking the waterfall. We kind of have the, you know, the Donald Trump yesterday came out on the announcement with tariffs, and the stock market, you know, it's like get into shorts. Wouldn't short down here eventually, but regardless, this is a little bit waterfalling. And Bitcoin eventually is now taking a little bit of the pressure of the stock market, right? It's kind of now taking a bit of pressure from stock market. And this is what is interesting on the lower time frame, right? Let's just go through a lower time frame here and analyze the local movement down, just so you understand that that a bounce is very, very likely here, right? Even though you have the bearish sentiment in your veins, you need to understand that a bounce is likely, creating more choppiness here at 81, 80k levels or not. The reversal on a bounce is highly likely without, you know, without taking out the lows just yet. I wouldn't want to believe that this was the bounce, this one right over here, this small little bounce that we had of $2,000. The bounce, right? In a, yeah, you know, it does look like that we could get at least above $85,000 before pushing to lower levels. Based on this, right? Based on what we explained at the beginning of the stream, right? Which is, you know, we're looking at a finished, you know, possibly finished or very close to finishing fifth wave, right? On the higher time frame. And, you know, the question is, of course, from this latest move down, that we have 5 waves down to 5 wave moves. Okay, 5 waves to the downside. The question is right now, and this is where things get tricky. We can count a 5 wave move down here, okay? That on the micro counts, and this gets pretty crazy. So you could arguably discuss, yeah, this could have been your end of the wave, and we do manage to relief to the upside. However, what you do have here is your first wave of your 5th wave, where you have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, right? Or, you know, ultimately looking for a contracting move where it's going to take out the lows, and then ultimately get the bounce. And this is where it gets tricky. You know, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. But, you know, overall, the market is looking very, very bearish, you know, eventually. But this is the question right now. After this ABC flat, right? Because there is an ABC flat right there. Claim the highs, come down to the lows. Was this your last move down before the nice relief rally of a few $1,000s? Or are you going, or is this your first initial wave from that 5th wave, and you're going to get a chop, and you're going to get a chop, and then you're going to get the relief rally where you're forming the contracting move? That is the question, right? That is the ultimate question here from this movement before getting that relief rally. So, Yes, let's go through comment section, guys. Remember, if you are interested in trading, Weeks is a great platform. Take advantage of this bonus that they have launched just a few days ago. You get 50% deposit bonus. Now, you listen out here. It is $1,000 cap, okay? So if you deposit $2,000, you're going to get $1,000 airdropped to your futures account in the next 48 to 72 hours. All right. Don't think that you're going to get $5,000 if you get $10,000 deposit in, because you won't. But for the bigger players, if you deposit large amounts, you can get up to $30,000 in deposit bonuses airdropped to your futures account in the next coming weeks. All of those people that want to sign up just with an email and a password, they don't care about the bonus. That is the option here with Weeks, guys. Take advantage, because you also get a 25% fee reduction on your trades. It's the second link down below, guys. It's another way to support the channel, but another way to trade in a platform that only requires an email and a password. Of course, if you don't want to claim any bonuses, right? There is that option. Let's go through the comment section right away. Right. Andy, do you have a class I take pay for that goes more in depth on TA? If not, what would you recommend? We do have the Legends trading community. You got the modules going through basic analysis, basic technical analysis into more advanced, of course, where we do cover, you know, naked pointer controls. We cover harmonics. We got the Elliot wave section also coming up. Okay. Advanced Elliot wave section. There's everything that you need to know. So I didn't buy at 4.9 and I sold at 10%. Somebody here talking about something else, some investments. It's going to bounce down to 70K, says Mike. Chainlink almost back to $10. This is the thing. This is the thing. And Ethereum is taking the massive hit, guys. Yeah, guys, the altcoins are, you know, we got trapped on some altcoins, but Chainlink at $13 taking the ultimate hit. Like you know, as mentioned as well, you know, I was in doubt of the third wave as soon as we broke down from the highs here, understanding that this could be the ABC correction, right? And you know, you have that feeling that the president, this being an ABC, guys, you know, this was the bull run for, you know, altcoins. ABC movement to the upside. Bang, bang, bang. Holy moly. This is going to take months before it recovers up. But you're just going to have to buy up the dips, guys. You know, this ain't a moment to panic. It's a moment to buy up. You need to panic when it recovers and get the heck out. The moment it recovers in the next coming months, you know, people complain when we get the dips. This is getting into buying zone, right? It is falling very aggressively, I have to say. This no longer looks like a nice healthy correction. It looks like we're getting dumped, and it's going to be bear market for several months before it recovers, right? So it's just going to be the buying zone, guys. Make sure to play it smart. I'm just in a 2x gain from what I bought here on Chainlink. I don't mind it coming back down to buying levels. I just have to hold on for the next cycle. It is what it is. But the people that have been buying at higher levels, they're just going to feel the pain, especially the ones that have put large amounts of capital. I mean, this is no longer a level to buy, or this pump over here. I was actually bearish back in March when we were at this zone, because we had a perfect 5-wave move up and the pullback was inevitable. There's no zone to buy. This was the zone to buy, right? So Chainlink, I've been looking at Chainlink very, very carefully on the technical analysis, and the moment we lost this low, this high, sorry, you know, I still had faith on the bullish case, but I was starting to coming doubt based on the ABC correction, which is this one right over here, right? Then you start to think of, holy crap, you know, maybe this was it. Maybe this was it, and this is just a corrective move, because the third wave is the one that needs to smack out of this level and get into bull market territory, right? Get into bull market stage. And this is a similar scenario that happened to XRP. It's just this is part of the cycle. XRP did not hit its previous all-time high of 2017 back in 2021, and it formed a lower high, and it went into a multi-year bear market till it actually finally got to all-time high, which is a take profit zone, right? I did say to the XRP holders, take profit here, guys, and buy maybe on the correction. But you know, if a cryptocurrency hits its previous all-time high, take it as a good present, right? You made it, right? The previous all-time high is you made it. Will it break out successfully or not to much higher levels? Ultimately, it's a take profit zone, and on some charts you did not hit the previous all-time high, but I think on Bitstamp or some other ones, yeah, there's some charts that you did hit the all-time high. And when you move up like this with this kind of hype, you know, last 2 times that you moved up this fast, you entered a bear market. So you just, anybody that bought XRP the last few years and made a 5-6x, you need to take some profits with this hockey stick right there. You know, it's just if you don't, then that's all on you. If you're here for the long term, right, and you're here for the tech, and you're here for the reserve, and you believe that it can go to $10-20 in the next coming months, then that is all on you. But the all-time high was a take profit zone. There's no doubt about it. Stock market taking the hit. Let's go through comment section. Chainlink, like, what can I say? Umbrella as well is down at the lows. And Chainlink, the only bullish case scenario is a 112 right now. I mean, this 123 that we've been talking here on Chainlink for the last 2 years, speculating that this will enter a bull market from this consolidation. And so far we had the wave 1, so far we had the wave 2, and then it's 3 or C wave or a 112. And things need to get better, but it doesn't look great with possible recession, the tariffs, right? Everybody was speculating on Donald Trump absolutely saving crypto, making crypto great again. And apparently he's damaged the crypto industry, right? And especially if he's going to create the recession officially, right? We never know. Some people say we are officially in a recession based on GDP and rest of it. Yeah. Most of the people were wrong based on the beliefs, right, of the president, and it doesn't look too great. So China giving war warning to US, market's gonna dump more hard. Yes, stock market doesn't look too great. We are dumping down. Bitcoin's kind of holding here, maybe another low, maybe 2 more lows based on the contracting move, but a relief rally is expected, right? And then maybe go to lower levels. But market's taking the hit here, but it's not really the moment to panic. We've had so many drops on the stock market throughout the last few months. Big corrections, ultimately recovering at the end. So this doesn't seem any different. We all smoked the Trump hopium. We did, you know, me inclusive. It was kind of inevitable to not swallow that bitter pill, right? On the hopium of America, you know, first bullish president on crypto, reserve, you know, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, this, that, the other. And, you know, when you have that kind of pump and dump after the announcement, you really question that recession around the corner, the tariffs happening right now, confirmed, you know, war, economic war. You know, it just really questions the possibility of having an altcoin season, right? We need money printer going on eventually. So But anyway, we'll have to hold on, guys. All of those cryptos, like I said, I can't sell my Chainlink now. I mean, even still, I'm seeing a lot of money go down regarding Chainlink. But we'll give it a chance to bottom out here at this range at the 7/8 Fibonacci. Let's see if we do maintain ground. And if we break down, then we just have to buy more in the next coming months and wait for the next bull run. Right? It will not be the moment to sell, I can tell you that. I was really squeezing here to say I want to sell at $30 and missed out. I sold some Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin is my biggest holding. You know, if I want cash, I'll sell Bitcoin. But the altcoin, Chainlink is a good project regardless. We're going to give the chance for the 112. And if it doesn't, then this will not be the moment to sell. It will just need to be the moment to hold on and buy more for the next cycle. And make sure to take profits after you break this high and after you hit all-time high as well, right? Whether that is going to be in the next couple of years or next coming months, we need to take profits on the next pump. I'm not expecting a 20-30x on Chainlink, you know. If we do a 5x, I'm getting the heck out. There's too much money in there. This is the year of the snake, same as 29. Where do you get trading bot? No trading bot. Do you think the bear market will be short or very long? Well, ultimately, I am expecting Bitcoin to hit all-time high before the end of the year. Let's leave it that way. With or without taking out $78,000. It all is in the analysis. Despite all of this turmoil, right, and tariffs and war and but it is, you know, this is the moment where the TA needs to stay grounded, right? You need to stay grounded because this is where it's going to be tested, right? Your ability is going to be tested here. Still thinking of a new all-time high at some point in the next coming months, right? Whether it's months or weeks. And we are looking at this still as a corrective move. There's not enough volume pushing the price down. And, you know, I don't think that the smart money has got out just yet. And there's more bearish retail. I mean, let's take a look at the poll right over here. Right? How many people are bearish? What comes next? All-time high or $60,000? It's a 50-50, legends. It's a 50-50. Absolutely crazy. It is a 50-50. Man, out of 1,000 votes, if you haven't voted, make sure to vote right away. But what comes out first? All-time high or $60,000 for Bitcoin? It is literally a 50-50 right there. So, whew. The bearish sentiment is without a doubt real, and there's still too much bullishness in my opinion. And this should be a 60% bearish and 40% bullish, then to become bullish, right? But anyway, the proper perma bulls will just maintain bullish always, right? There's no doubt about it. Brutal pump after $64,000. Not sure yet if we do get down to $64,000, but without a doubt, I am going to DCA into Bitcoin. If we lose $78,000, guys, it will be the moment to buy up again. If we lose in the next coming days with a bounce here or not, right? We're talking about that scenario. This is going to be the moment that I'm going to DCA. Regarding trading, I will be analyzing the local trading setups for day trading setups, but overall, this would be just an easy range to buy, scoop up some Bitcoin below $78,000. 75, 70,000, doesn't really matter. It would be a good zone to DCA without a doubt. So yeah, it's going to be looking. Am I bullish or bearish? Only because I'm realist. We need to go back to the floor at $74,500. Back to the floor at $74,004. Yeah, basically the resistance support flip, right? I mean, this is without a doubt a good zone. This is without a doubt a good resistance. This is a higher time frame resistance support flip, right? Where you do have $74,000, $72,000 range. Very big level of resistance eventually if we were to come down there. This for me would be DCAing level, okay? DCAing. There's too many big players that want to buy the dip, whether it goes down to 70 or 60K, guys. Big players will be eyeing the dip down there for sure. And the bounce will be massive absorption of market shorts. Let's say we've got CVD. What's going on? Ooh. Yeah, this is the thing, right? This is like the perfect recipe for that bounce here on your fifth wave, right? As explained. This is what you want to see. Shorters entering right now because of stock market dumping at the very end stages of your fifth wave here, and get that reversal at some point. You are getting the absorption of the shorts right there. You're getting quite a lot of shorts, especially on Bybit. Let's see if the rest of exchanges do get that push down, and we get those lower lows on the CVD and the price managing to get that bounce back up. Can you take a look at Cardano? Looks kind of strong. Let's take a look at ADA. I haven't checked out ADA. Did ADA pull back down most of the pump from Sunday? Looks pretty damn strong if you ask me, right? I like that nice little bounce here. I like this level. You got this, basic resistance support flip on Cardano, right? And it's looking pretty damn okay. Looks like it wants to hold. It just got a pretty big flush. Of course, a lot of hype on Cardano on the announce from tweets. It looks pretty damn good, huh? This is overall looks bullish. All of this looks extremely corrective on Cardano, especially after taking out this high. There's no longer a 112 for the bearish case. There's no longer an impulsive move down. You got a three-wave move down here. So after this pump taking out the high, it looks pretty damn good for Cardano. Let me tell you that the low could be in here on Cardano, and you will take out the highs here from December of 2024. It looks pretty damn good, right? Ethereum looks like crap. Looks like my Ethereum investment looks like, I've just put money in on Ethereum. I mean, it hasn't been throughout the last few days, but overall the investment that I got in Ethereum, when you take a look at the price action from the last few weeks, it looks like I've taken my money, I've put it in the toilet, I've taken a shit on top of the money and flushed, and that money's gone away. Not really, because it's just down on the portfolio, but this is a very good zone to hold here. Cardano does look strong. Cardano does look strong. 2-hour live stream. We must be at 700 likes. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. People are getting bored. Internet computer. Delete it, Mike. Mike says delete it. Delete what, my man? Delete what? Legends, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for the super chats. People are leaving. We're getting bored. Not much to say. We're looking for a bounce here on Bitcoin. Just purely based on what I explained. A bounce looks very likely in this range. Okay. Much love to everybody. I will see you on tomorrow's stream. We'll analyze the situation tomorrow. Thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow.